Hey everyone, Dan here. I saw several posts today where it seems, and actually in the past and recently, it seems like a lot of us are, asking a lot of questions on, how do we go about approaching customers and getting them to get excited about what we do and hire us. Well, what I noticed is it seems like a lot of us jump into the technical details and we try to get customers all excited about the results and everything we can do for them. But keep in mind, they've heard all this before, and unfortunately, I think they probably, in most cases, been very disappointed. So, right, you got to get their guard down, and the way to get their guard down is to get them interested in what you do, get them excited, and then show them the results. So I'll show you the 7 steps I use um, to walk a customer through in order to get them to hire me. So the first thing I definitely do is, let me see here 1 second here, is I identify the customers that I want to go after who are bringing in, whose customers themselves have anywhere from a $2,000 to $10,000 plus value for them. And what I mean by that is I recently started working with a dance studio, and their tuition per year, because they cater to high end and competitive dancers, is anywhere from $10,000 all the way to $80,000 plus per month. So right away I know that they most likely will have a budget if a value for a customer is at that level, especially given the results that we all know we can deliver. Anything below $2,000, I tend to try to acquire with an ad and then book a consult. That's step number 2. And so I just talked about identifying tiers, identifying the business type. And then what I do is I like walking in and trying to talk to the business owner, especially during the day, or definitely want to go in there where they're not busy. And I actually run an agency where I use a combination of bots, funnels, emails, and all that stuff. So I show them a bot demo, and that usually gets them pretty interested because bots are cool with how interactive they are, and they're real easy to create demos of. And so if they show interest after having done a demo, I try to book a consult. Do not try to all of a sudden start, if they show interest, start rapid firing them with all these results and all these cool things you can do for them. No, that time it's not appropriate. Because you got to, you just came in, you wanted to make a connection, you made the connection. Now you got to go to the next step. You got to get them to commit at least an hour of their time to meet with you and to do a consult. If they agree to do a consult, just before I meet with them, I'll send them a MailChimp survey where I try to find out what they've done in the past, a little bit about their business, their price points. It's a 2-minute survey where I'm trying to gather as much intel as possible so that way I can tailor the consult to them. If right off the bat the timing's not right, demo, interest, and consult, I'll stay in communication with them using step number 7, and I'll go over that in a minute here. So before, you can even do this, an hour or two before you meet them. But before you go into the consult, you do not want to go in there cold. You don't want to ask stupid questions in the consult like, "Hey, what's your website?" Secret number 1, rule number 5 from Russell Brunson's Secrets is no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And I can't explain how important, I can't emphasize enough how important that is going into the initial consult. So visit Facebook pages, a website, take notes, and then go in with examples of what interested you off of their posts. And then when you're actually in front of them, tell them your story. Get them to talk about their story, their passion, their successes, their failures, because all of this that I'm getting them to share, I'm getting them to share openly because I'm priming them for the next step, which is let's build the secret formula for them. And so who are their customers? Where are they at? What's the bait and what's the result? And the way that you get the result is you ask them, what's the highest level you can serve your customers and work down from there. But if you've done a good job in the opening dialogue with finding out how much, with finding out about them and their business, creating the secret formula is not hard. And then the last thing you want to do is build out that value ladder, and you want to future pace there, which is, hey, imagine if I could bring these customers in and they can get all the way to your top offering. What would that do for you? And you definitely want to ask questions on how they are going to get them to ascend. For instance, with this dance studio that I'm working with, or dance school, I should say, the owner said, as soon as they come in, I can sell to them on the spot. He said, usually it's a decision they make right then and there. I don't have to drip on them, and they know right away. And so, I kind of felt them out a little bit. This last customer I got, you'll get the sense on whether or not they'll be able to upsell their own customers and follow up. And if you feel good about that, that's great, because that's less work for you to do. But if they're weak there, then that's something you're going to have to build into your campaign and your funnels, and keep that in mind when you give them the proposal. And then last, just get some highlights on what are their budget considerations. What kind of budget are you working with? So when you leave the consult, leave with the secret formula and value ladder. If you leave with that, and their budget, if you leave with that, then you'll have everything you need to build the proposal. I love Dan Henry's proposal template. I like that. And one of the sections I changed, instead of saying, here's what I can do for you, I say, here's what you're going to get. And actually go back and I put the funnel, or sorry, the value ladder, I should say that, change that, their value ladder. I actually revisit the value ladder that I created in the consult, because it reminds them, hey, this is where you're going to go. This is what you're going to get. And then highlight a little bit about the process on how you're going to go from their value ladder to their results. Remember, they don't care about the details. I'm sorry to say that, but they don't, because that's why they're hiring you. If they cared about them, then they wouldn't have a need for you. And in fact, the less they care about those details, the better off you are, because if you do this right, they'll put the trust in you and they won't be micromanaging you. And so give a cost breakdown, and then obviously end the proposal with how to get started. And assuming they want to get started, you move on to building the campaign using the rule of 10 that Dan uses. That's the way I build my campaigns. Don't forget any of these elements that he highlights in his course, using the rule of 10. And then, you definitely want to define a window when you're going to check back with them. If it's something that has a long sales cycle, let's say real estate or something, realtors are a good example, because typically any of their leads are, probably off Facebook especially, are going to be 3 or more months out. But if someone like a dance studio, then they'll usually be able to turn over and work leads through the sales cycle within a week or two. So it's up to you and the customer to define when and how often you're going to report results. And then you definitely want to, kind of hit these highlights of the campaign that you ran, your duration, your verdict on the campaign, whether it did well or not, and definitely be honest there. The winning ad highlights, the number of leads they got, the cost per lead. And here's something cool. I haven't even seen it or used it yet, but I think this would be a great area to import some of the lead owl results. And of course, come across as an expert. What are your recommendations for moving forward? Is it another campaign? Is it, hey, this is great, we don't really need to change anything. Let's move on to future work and either do a retainer or do another campaign here. If they say no thanks, no retainer, and no thanks, no other campaign, then you want to move on to step number 7, which is you want to keep in touch with them using the principles taught in .com Secrets, Russell Brunson's book, Using the Attractive Character, Soap Opera Sequence, Daily Seinfeld emails. If they say yeah, they want another campaign, then you just go back here and to step number 4 and step through 4, 5, and 6 again. If they say yeah, they want a retainer, then just draft an agreement and keep doing what you've been doing. But that's typically any of my customers they are at some step here. Any one of them at any given time is at one of these 7 steps. But I want, again, the purpose of my video today was to really show you the amount of pre-work you should be doing before you start jumping in and geeking out over all these details of a campaign and what they're going to do for them. I guarantee you, if you put up, and it's just a little bit of extra work, in these steps 1, 2, and 3, the kind of customers you're going to attract are going to be the ones you want to continue working with, and then the payoff and trust you'll get with them is going to be a lot easier and a lot better than just beating your head against the wall, cold calling constantly, and not developing a connection. Because if you're not developing a connection, you sound like every other digital marketer out there. And right now, that's not what businesses are looking for. All right. Hope you found this video useful, and take care.